Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 22 of Walking with Jay. This is my daily video vlog about the steps I'm taking to return to health and wellness. So I'm out here walking again tonight. It's a beautiful evening here in sunny St. George, Utah. Memorial Day weekend. Today's a great Saturday. And I'm just out here doing my walk, getting my walk on, getting it done. I figure one of the things that's been helping keeping me healthy the last year or two, I've been doing a lot of walking. It's always been kind of a coping mechanism for me, but it's also just been something that's anyway, so that's just a little brain dead sometimes still. Today's my first day back on the Atkins diet, if you will. Low carb, cutting those carbs. I figured I'd do it on the 3-day weekend so I could get used to that way of eating, because it really does give me a brain cloud when I first go on that Atkins kind of plan. And the only reason I'm doing Atkins is because it's been successful for me in the past. I've tried a lot of other different things and nothing has given me the results that I'm looking for. And primarily the results that I'm looking for, not so much in weight loss, but what I'm really trying to focus on right now is getting my blood sugar under control, my blood glucose under control. And so that's why I'm doing the Atkins thing. And I'm sure there might be better eating plans for getting your diabetes under control, but I just haven't really I haven't gone into so much effort in trying to figure out what those eating plans are, just because when I first was diagnosed with diabetes, I started looking around on the internet, and there was the first guy that I came to saying that he had reversed his diabetes. Well, actually, yeah, he didn't reverse the diabetes, but I guess it is kind of reverse the diabetes, but anyway, he said that he was actually a doctor, and when he got the diagnosis, he just decided he was going to cut out all carbohydrates and as much as he could, and he did that. And then his wife told him he was on the Atkins diet, and so I've had some pretty good success with that in the past, so I'm going to try that again. Well, the one thing about the Atkins again is it does get really boring really quickly, and I think the first week or so of it is a pretty tough adjustment for the brain to make. I think my brain is pretty used to getting high levels of sugar and carbohydrates and stuff like that, and so when I cut it out, I really feel it. So so I started that again today. Today's Saturday. I've got Monday off, so hopefully I'll be able to just get all the rest that I need, make up for whatever brain fog that I have. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, I'm walking, I'm baby stepping, I'm doing the work. There's a lady walking the track going the opposite direction with a bunch of dogs, so I'm going to come down to the corner here and turn around so that I don't have to cross paths with someone. Oh, that would be awkward. See, I do have a little bit of social anxiety still too. All right, so what else was I going to talk about tonight? I don't know. Just want to talk about I was thinking about depression and the symptoms of depression, and one of the symptoms of depression is anhedonia, which is when you think of hedonia, the word anhedonia, the word hedonism, means that you seek after pleasure and stuff like that. And even so, anhedonia is when you no longer find pleasure in the things that you used to find pleasure in. And so you'll find guys who used to golf all the time and enjoy that, or guys or gals or whatever, but no longer find the pleasure in that. People who have found pleasure in getting together and socializing a lot, and then they no longer find pleasure in that. And so when they're going through a series of depression, no, not a series, but whenever you go through a period of depression, that might be one of the symptoms that you encounter. I know I do that a lot. Some of the things that I've really enjoyed in the past is playing music with people, and it's actually been a pretty big theme in my life, music and writing songs and doing all of those things. And it's given me great joy in the past. It's given me a sense of identity. But there are times when I'm not feeling well that I lose that fire for music. And I think it's when my brain starts slowing down. It might be after a period of heightened creativity or whatever, and my brain maybe just burns itself out or whatever, but then I'll go into a lull of depression, and then the musical ideas don't come to me as quickly as they would have, and it seems like you have to work a lot harder to create. Along with that, when that depression comes, there's a lot more self-criticism and just things like that, so that you're not able to access that creative side of you. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but you just have to ride it out. You just have to ride out the storm. And I think some people would say, we'll just set up a practice routine and continue to practice every day, whether you feel like it or not. And I don't think I've ever got to that phase, where that level of commitment to music where I could actually do that. And so I just pretty much, when I'm feeling it, I do it, and when I don't feel it, I don't do it as much. I've tried being real regimented about it, and I think that sometimes that just adds more stress. And when you add more stress and you're already depressed, I think sometimes if you're not good at managing stress, which I'm working on right now, but I think if you're not good at managing stress, what can happen is that it can shut you down even more when you try to force yourself to create when you're not feeling creative. I don't know for sure. I'm just going off the top of my head here, basically. But yeah, so there's that. So music, yeah, huge part of who I am. And even when I'm not creating music, I still view myself as a musician. And so we talked about master statuses, I think, a little bit last night, and how I was talking about how I struggle with wanting bipolar to be one of my master statuses, which I really don't. I want to be someone who's beaten bipolar disorder. I want to be someone who's recovered from it, and someone who can just yeah, anyway, I'm not going to talk about that tonight. What I am going to talk about is music, and why I love music. And I just will. So even right now, I'm not in a phase where I'm playing music as much as I have in the past. I'm not in any bands right now, not even doing the work band anymore, the psychotropics. So I'm not really doing too much music anymore. I'm doing it. I went down and I played with Matt a couple weeks ago, I think it was, maybe even last weekend. But yeah, just I don't remember what I'm talking about. Yeah, so in other words, it's not a big part of my life right now. I would like it to be a bigger part of my life. I would like to just have music as a bigger part of my life, because there is so much potential for joy. I get such a kick out of playing music, especially with Matt. The guy is just so creative, and we work really well together. I think we're getting into even more and more of a groove together and having a good chemistry musically together the longer that we the older that we get, and so yeah, can't wait to play with him again. But so yeah, so we were kind of, Matt and I haven't played music together for a very long time. My sister Anna actually came in town today to get some stuff for the Memorial Day weekend and a surprise thing she's got going tomorrow. Not going to say anything more about that, but probably already blew it. Anyway, yeah. And so Anna was always involved with music. Matt and I, from a very young age, were writing songs together, and we would sit around and we would write songs, and then we would use the fan in our bedroom. We had one of those little box fans, and well, we would use that for kind of a sound effect on our voices. We'd sing into it, and it would have that I am Luke, I am your father kind of effect. But so we did that. But then we also, man, one time we got these fluorescent crayons, and you'd stick the crayon into the fan, and it would like color the fan. So that was kind of cool. But then we had a black light, and we turned the black light on, and it looked so cool. Yeah, old school, low budget special effects, and that fan got a lot of use. So yeah, so Anna and Matt and I used to write songs all the time. The first song I remember us writing as little kids, we were driving up, I think Ellie Mountain is where we were driving, and I think, hey, we were driving up Ellie Mountain, and we were all in the back of the car. Hey, how you doing, Brock? Good to see you. And so we were just sitting in the back of our I think we had we had an International Harvester, and it was a giant old boat of a car we called the Beast, and we wrote this song called Water, and it just was real simple. Water, 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 water. We wanted water. We were thirsty, and so we just made up this song called Water. That's what we need. And then we had the verses were just like, people in the desert need water, 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 water. That's what we need. And we just kept going and going and going. We knew we had a smash hit on our hands, singing about water. It's a fundamental human need. Everyone's experienced thirst in their life. So yeah, it was catchy too. Catchy as all get out. Must have been like 7 or 8 at the time, but super. And then we wrote some other songs. One song was called Cloud 9, and it went something like this. I don't even know if I remember it, but it was like, oh, I don't even remember how it goes. Well, you'll have to wait on that one. I'll have to try to remember that one and share it with you guys at some point. Cloud 9. I'm dreaming away, bum 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 bum. I'm dreaming away, bum 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 bum. I'm out on cloud 9. I'm out on cloud 9. I'm walking down the road, a friend talks to me. I'm drifting away out to the sea. I'm out. Just kind of a funny little song. We wrote all kinds of songs. We would start writing the songs, and then we'd get kind of stuck on them, and Anna would take them into Charlotte, who was in the other room, and Charlotte would come up with another cool line to it or a hook that would, and we were like, oh, that's just so stinking good. Charlotte's always been a great songwriter, but she also, one of the things about Charlotte is that I don't think she likes to be on stage much. I don't think she likes to be the center of attention. So I'm kind of, so like Anna, I think loves to be on stage, or she did at some point. I don't know if she still does, but I mean, at some point she really did like to be on stage, and that was a big part of, I think that's a lot taken after my dad. And so he was a performer. He was he was the mayor of Caliani. He didn't mind being in the public eye. And then my mom, I think, was a little bit more reserved, kind of in line with Charlotte. So I think I find myself being right in the middle of the two. So yeah, I think I find myself being like sometimes wanting to be on stage and sometimes wanting to be on the center of attention, but then other times wanting to be just left alone. And the thought of being like Brian Wilson, staying in my bed for 3 years, really appeals to me. So anyway, yeah, maybe I'm not even bipolar. Maybe it's just my mom and dad wrestling together still after all of these years inside of my little brain. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going tonight. Just kind of rambling like I always do, but yeah, just have a long history with music. And I've got my mom's auto harp sitting in my music room, and I was thinking about actually breaking that out and tuning it up and doing a Facebook Live with singing a song with mom's auto harp. I think that would be fun. So I'm just trying to get my ideas back going again about music and what I want to do with it, where I want to go with it. So many of my musical friends aren't actually here, you know, in St. George. So I mean, I do have musical friends here in St. George. It just seems like it's a lot of work to get people's schedules together, you know. And when I was in high school, we used to play just about every single night. We would, the Split Infinity practice would be happening at 342 Main Street in the backyard there, in the back house. And we'd practice for 2 or 3 hours a night, going over the same songs over and over and over again. Repetition, after all, is the mother of skill. So, what else? Yeah, and then in the Navy, I used to jam with Scotty Ace Hayes and the Freeloaders. And it was basically, I was the freeloader. No. So, no, but we had another guy named Ron McGaha, rapping Ron McGaha. He recently passed away, and so that's a bummer. But yeah, and so we would play up in the bosun's locker. It was the front part of the ship, and we would just practice there for countless hours. We would be up there practicing, and we would sit and jam on a riff for hours. It was just a lot of fun. And Scotty was and is a phenomenal guitar player, and he just always blew my mind how he had this crappy old guitar in the Navy, and I tried to play it, and it was just so hard to play, and he just flew up and down that thing like a greased lightning. I'm telling you, the guy was quick. So yeah, good memories with that. What else? Yeah, musically, I don't know. I was always involved with bands in high school, not with like marching band or anything like that. I played clarinet, I think, in 7th, maybe 8th grade. But after that, I was only in the jazz band, and I played guitar in the jazz band, so that was a lot of fun. What else? And I was always in the choir in high school too. And then After the Navy, I went to college, and I was in the Southern Utah University choir, and also in the jazz band at Southern Utah University. So music has always been a part of who I am and what I've done. In fact, I was a music major at Southern Utah University. Might have been, I mean, that talking about getting in over your head. All my life, I've never learned how to sight read really well, or know music theory very well. I do know some, but not like what you need to be a college, to be in the college music program. So what happened was, after about 2 semesters of theory, I felt I just couldn't do it anymore. It was way over my head. And so, you know, subsequently I've gone back and learned how to identify intervals by ear, and learn theory and stuff like that on my own. But at the time, it was just way too much pressure for me. So I switched over to a business major, and then I switched over to an English major, and then I took a sociology 101 class, and the professor took me outside and said, "Hey, you've really got a knack for this. You should really think about, you know, changing your major to sociology." And so that was the first time anybody's ever told me that I take that back. It's not the first time anybody ever told me they believed in a certain set of skills that I have. Miss Benson tried to get me to, in high school, she tried to get me to get an English scholarship and go right into college, and I wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready at that point. So I ended up joining the Navy instead, because I didn't feel like I had any options, and I didn't feel like I was ready for college. So anywho, so yeah, so then I switched my major to sociology, and did okay in that. I don't know why I stopped going to school that time, but anyway, I think that's pretty common for folks with bipolar disorder to jump around and do different things like that. So I'm not trying to use bipolar as an excuse, but it is what it is. I don't, like I said, I'm thankful for what I learned in the music classes. I'm thankful for what I learned in my sociology classes, and I think it's all served me in the career that I have. So yeah, so I was able to actually pursue a lot of different interests in college. I just didn't ever get a degree. So anyway, I've been rambling on tonight a little bit. It's what it is. It's Walking with Jay, and I'm going to try to continue to do this every day and not get too discouraged, and just continue to put out the video every day, and hope that someone somewhere finds some value in it. And if nothing else, you get to know me a little bit more, and there's that. We'll have something to talk about when we sit down over lunch sometime, maybe. I don't know. You want to do lunch? All right. Anyway, love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.